to a very special Juicebox Heroes podcast episode. We are coming to you live, as always. The Dubon Fan Club President Moreno's in the house. We got Bryles in the house, and I'm one of your hosts, PK. Big news for today, guys. We had to do a little quick episode for you guys. They are no longer the Minute Maid Park. It has officially been announced that the park is now Dyken Park. So we had to come on and just kind of talk about it. Get a few thoughts from our guys. Chris, Bryce, what are your thoughts on this? It's a pretty big change. Really big change, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. You go from the last, 15-something years? 15? Like, pretty much ever since Enron, had all that fun stuff go down. It's going to take some time getting used to. Dyken Park, it's not a terrible name, but it is what it is. I mean, nothing that you and I could do to change it. So, that's all I got for right now.
It just kind of reminds me of, when I see a Dyken Park, my first thing that comes to mind is Lincoln Park. That's just the first thing that comes to mind. It sucks, right? We've gone accustomed to the juice box. That's what our podcast is named after. Minute Maid. It's you tie in from going forward. When you think your memories of the juice box or Minute Maid, you're going to tie them to this 10-year run that we're on, right? It's going to be. There's going to be other stuff. BGO 3000's hit. There's a lot of stuff, right? But Minute Maid, it's a big part. The name has cemented itself in a big part of Astros history, especially in the last 25 years.
Yeah, for 22 years, we've been the juice box. We've been Minute Maid Park ever since Enron crashed and failed there at the very beginning. So it's going to be really tough kind of thinking about it like, oh, it's, Dyken Park or Dyken Field. But, I started thinking about it today. It's like, so to me, it's still the juice box. You don't call Yankee Stadium by their sponsor. You don't call Dodger Stadium by their sponsor. So to me, it's still the juice box. So I think there's going to be a lot of people still calling it that from, here till probably the end of time. But, we'll see how it goes. I also relate it to like back in the Astrodome days when they had the dome foam. It's like, dome foam is still just like a term that everybody knows. That's beer that you got at the Astrodome. So you relate that to the Astros, you relate it to the Oilers back in the day, but it was dome foam. So anyway, I think it's going to be relatable moving on out.
Well, and just to talk about the dome foam, at a certain place on the east side of downtown, you can still get dome foam if you really, really wish.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
It's actually a really cool spot. Have y'all been?
I've been to the Eighth Wonder.
No. Eighth Wonder. You need to try it out, man. It's a Moreno. You'd love it. It's a really cool spot. Plus I think they have a big yard out in the back, for food trucks and stuff. It's a really cool spot, man. Eighth Wonder's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Shameless plug for we're not getting paid at all. I'm just telling you. If you want dome foam, that's where you go.
There you go.
But now, look. Now we have a
conundrum,
a semi dilemma on our hands.
Yeah, we have a conundrum. So I just want to say shout out to everybody that I kind of interacted with all day today. Talked to a lot of people today as far as commenting on all the stuff that we put out. But I've had about 6 or 7 people saying, hey, so this means you guys going to change your name. And I don't know, man. I'm kind of torn 50-50 because, to be honest with you, I got really super lucky coming up with this name. It was just more of like I was listening to old music. Foreigner came on, and I'm like, jukebox here, juice, and it just clicked. I don't know. I think we're going to collectively kind of take a look at it and see. I know we are working on some type of collaboration between the juice box and now I guess everything's going to be the ice box or something to do with, freezing or I don't know, something like that. But
I saw something about a hot box and I was like, that's not the first thing I think of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right.
It better not be the hot box after Dyken, just paid however much they paid.
Yeah.
The naming rights. But yeah, I've seen a lot of range of emotions between oh, this name is terrible. It's not terrible. I mean, like it's a new thing that we're all gonna have to, kind of get used to. Like you guys talked about the dome foam, right? Even though the Astros moved out of the Astrodome, I think the last game was what, 99? I think is what it was, 99,
Mm-hmm.
2000,
Yep.
Yeah.
99.
No, 99.
So, like we're still gonna remember, the dome, right? We're still gonna, I mean, hell, the dome's right next to whatever they're calling the Texan Stadium right now. So, and just like, we'll always remember Enron Field, right? And I want to say, wasn't there a portion, like a quick minute before they named it Enron, it was just known as the ballpark at Union Station.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
The
and then,
bus. The
yeah.
bus.
So now it's like, and I remember at first when when they gave the name and rights of Minute Maid, everyone's like, oh, why would we name our, stadium after orange juice? But then it finally made its way into all of our hearts as
Yeah.
the juice box. And like I just think a lot of people aren't really excited about change right off the bat. But I'm sure, I mean, like I've seen funny pictures of like them putting Daikin chillers on the train for when the
I
home
seen
runs get hit.
I seen a whole thing of ice cubes.
Yeah, so I mean, like I give it about a couple years, we'll come up with our own little nicknames for it, and by then we'll just be like, it wasn't as terrible as we thought. So I mean, whatever it is, whatever Daikin is paying the Astros, apparently it was good enough for them to pull the plug on Minute Maid, like, earlier than what I guess what the contract was.
And what's your theory behind your theory behind a Japanese company buying the naming rights to the Astros?
Oh,
What's it?
I was just saying it would be cool if now that we have that Japanese connection, we go get that Roki Sasaki kid from Japan. That'd be awesome, right?
That would be absolutely
Yeah.
amazing.
I
It'd be,
doubt it's gonna happen, but hey, we all have pipe dreams, and
I
that.
think you have like two now. This is like your third one
Well,
since
this
being
one,
on.
I'm not ready to. That's the hill. It's not a hill yet. It's kind of like a small little mound that I just
It's
happen
like
to
it's
walk
it's a it's a
across.
little
It's
ant.
a
A
hill
little
that
ant.
you hope on, not that you're going to
Yeah,
die on.
Yeah.
like I'm not gonna
Yeah.
put too much more time and effort into it, but yeah. So
I think what we need to do on Facebook is we need to come up with a couple of options for a poll and just throw it out on our page and kind of get feedback from the followers.
yeah, I mean,
On a potential name change. Not that we're gonna go exactly by what was on the poll. You know, put two or three names up there, then maybe an other for a write-in or something.
yeah,
Again, we haven't decided as a team if we're going to. Like it just have the news just dropped today. So we've kind of kicked a few things around. Um, the logo. I mean, obviously the logo, the name. It's a damn good thing we didn't spend money on getting any
merchandise.
swag
Yeah,
yet.
Yep. No
So
merch yet.
so our laziness in getting that done has actually been beneficial.
I think we
You know,
kind of planned it. I think we kind of foresaw this coming, and
yeah.
that's why
No, we
we kind of
foresaw it. It's
yeah.
foresight.
So yeah,
Well,
I mean,
what?
like that's the big news. I mean, we went back and forth about if we were going to go live tonight or wait till Thursday, but I figured by Thursday this would have been beaten and beating a dead horse. So we'll go ahead and jump in front of all this, so that way we can hit you guys with all the brand new breaking news that may come between now and Thursday. So yeah, I mean, like, so I'm not really bothered by it as far as the name change. I mean, it's a financial thing. It's business. It is what it is.
Well, it just
Uh,
reminds me of like Heinz Field, right, in Pittsburgh, the Steelers.
Yeah.
Like
right.
since that stadium was erected, it was always Heinz Field. Always is what you knew it. And then I think the company name is Accenture or something like that. I don't even know what it is,
I didn't even know it changed names.
but it changed
Yeah.
names. It's no longer Heinz Field. I think this year is the first year, and so they're the same kind of emotional tie that fan base has with that stadium, right? Is the same thing that we have with Minute Maid because of all the years of success that we have. It was the longest tenure name. You have the whole downfall of Enron and all that. Not just with the naming rights, but the people's lives that it affected here in the city of Houston, right? I mean, it was a big. I mean, we all know we watched it happen. So I think it's just part of you, no one likes change, like you said, right? But Minute Maid, like that's with this team being in this ballpark, that's what we associate the most with our Astros is Minute Maid Park,
Yeah.
right? And so, but it's a business, man. Money's always going to talk. Period. End of story. No matter what allegiance you have to the name or players, like money always talks. We know that. Us as fans are just a little bit more invested because we're the ones with the players that are paying the money at the ticket and merchandise and online and all this stuff to get those contracts, and then they leave. This is purely Jim Crane, I would assume, right? Saying, hey, these guys pay me stupid amount of money just to put their name on the side of the building. Cool, here you go. Right.
Well,
so,
Done.
and think about it glass half full. I mean, maybe he needs that money. That way he can make the Bregman contract work. Maybe he needs that money to make a Tucker contract work.
Trust me, that money is
Anything
not
like
going to
that.
trickle down to the payroll. I promise you. That money's not
Hey, man,
trickling down.
Where are we gonna see Soda money on the field? No, trust me.
where's
I
my
understand what you're
soda
saying.
money on the field? He likes to keep it on the field.
He likes to keep it on the field. Yeah, no. Don't get me wrong, but we don't know what the contract details are. I mean, we don't know if like he's making a couple extra million, and he's just putting that in his pocket, or is he doubling what he's making to the point where it's making up for the TV contracts that they keep whining and complaining about that they're losing money on. So if it's the fact that they're making the money up and then they can justify actually going over the tax threshold and saying writing big contracts or pulling in like a free agent or whatever the case may be, so be it. That'd be fantastic. I don't think anybody in the city of Houston would ever complain about, oh, well, we used to call it the juice box. Now we don't know what to call it. But hey, guess what? We got good players on the field. So,
if we were a
glass half full, man.
A true professional podcast group, we would have had the number for the Minute Maid Park. Like whenever they signed their lease to say, like, hey, this was the number for Minute Maid, right? And then you factor in inflation or whatever. Like this has to be somewhere in the ballpark for Daikin. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what. If we were real,
that I read
9.2%.
Yeah,
right,
the article that I read, like I said, whatever it was, it had to have been enough because, like I said, I read that the Astros broke off early from this deal with Minute Maid. So I would assume that it had to have probably covered the money it cost to buy out that agreement, plus make probably more than that with whatever Daikin was willing to give them. So,
I mean, you ain't lying though. It's got. I mean, it's a pretty freaking penny for them to do that. I mean, you're talking about a breach of contract and the buyouts. Avoiding a breach of contract, right? Because now it's in a buyout. Whatever that clause is, and paying that to pay the buyout clause to get out of the contract to sign a new one is not cheap.
No, right? It's definitely not cheap. And like I said, Crane's smart. There's a reason why he's a billionaire. I guarantee you that was part of the negotiating price. It's like, well, it's going to cost X amount for us to get rid of Minute Maid. You're going to cover that, along with whatever the inflated price now is for you to name our ballpark. So
and think about like all the stuff on the concourse too. I mean, they're going to have a ton of Minute Maid like branding and logos and all that stuff to get rid of. So it's like this isn't just like an easy little move. I'm sure that happened overnight, but I mean they've got some paint crews that are going to be going to town.
If they didn't have Daikin as their primary source of air conditioning, they will now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, all I'm saying is that stadium better be 68 to 70 degrees all the time.
Yeah.
So
because I saw some memes about that. Like finally maybe the stadium will have air conditioning or it'll be cool in there. I mean, all kinds of good shit.
Yeah, I mean, but at the end of the day, you can be upset about it. You could, cry about it. You can be like whatever. None of us at our level are going to change anything. So, I mean, deal's already made. They've already announced it. So it is what it is. So now the only thing we can hope for is that the article that I kept reading about how Bregman and his group are again trying to eclipse the Manny Machado of 11 years and 300 plus.
Freaking wild, man. I just saw that today. 11 years, like 500 or something like that, 300 something.
Yeah, so I mean, if that's the case,
hey, Shea Whitcomb.
There won't be the name change won't be the only things changing here in Houston. So, but like I said, I mean, like if you're tripping, it's fine. We're not changing uniforms. We're not changing mascots. We're not changing. It's just a name. You know, like I
This
said,
is a stadium name, man.
it's just a stadium name. You can call it the Juice Box. We're not going to come and like beat you up if you call it the Juice Box.
The biggest headache is that we got to figure out what we're going to do with our name. That's the
inconvenience.
That's the travesty in this whole thing.
It's like I feel like we struck a gold mine with the name, and then it is just wiped from underneath us. So,
or maybe they saw how big we were going to get and wanted to chop us down before we got
that's
started.
what it was. It's like these guys have 19 subscribers on YouTube.
No, 24.
24. My bad. 24. We've got.
And thank you to all 24 subscribers out there.
Yeah, thanks.
Tell somebody you know to come listen to
us. All 223 followers on Facebook. Again, thanks all you guys. You guys are the reason why we do it. I mean, clearly we're a B- squad here.
That's pretty high. That's pretty high grade.
Okay, maybe C-. I mean, I did leave the music rapping while we were talking.
Well, but if you factor in the curve, then yeah, that gets us to a B-.
Yeah, so I like it. I like a big curve. Yeah. And that's what they're doing. They're like, these guys, not on our watch. Not on our watch. We're going to go and take them out. But guess what? It ain't that easy to take us out.
That's right.
When you have zero production value, zero sponsors, good luck with that.
That's right. We can do this all day, every day.
All day.
Well, if we do end up keeping the name, the one thing I will say is like we literally had 22 years of Minute Maid and the Juice Box. So, I mean, that's a brand all on its own. I mean, I don't think people are going to forget that anytime soon, especially with the winning that we had in that whole era, just like you guys were talking about earlier. It's like nobody's ever going to forget that. So,
yeah, I mean, no one's going to forget Biggio's 3000 hit. No one's going to forget that catch that Bregman made back when we had the hill.
Or Biggio face planting in the hill.
What was it? Richie Sexton, the one that hit the home run off the pole?
Off the pole.
I mean, so like a lot of people were huffing and puffing about the hill going away, but now it's like for a minute, I forgot that we had a hill.
I almost forget that. Yeah.
So, I mean, like I said, it's going to take some time to get used to. And I mean, but at the end of the day, it's a name, you know, it is what it is.
And look, in 20 something years, 25, 30 years, whatever, it's probably going to change again. There's probably going to be another name for this stadium in 30 years or even before, just like now.
Right, yeah, I was going to say probably way before that,
but,
honestly.
You know what I mean? It's just going to keep changing. So, I mean, whoever has the biggest and deepest bank account that wants to put their name on a stadium, it's just going to keep changing. So,
yeah, it is until they
build part of the game, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I was hoping that this breaking news was going to be the Bregman signing. It was not. So, it is. It is what it is. So,
well, I think just wait for that Dakin check to clear the bank account.
That's right.
We'll see.
Then all the news start funneling in.
That's what it is that they're waiting. So Dakin was number 1, Bregman was number 2, and then everything else.
That's it.
Yeah,
dominoes start falling.
There you go. So this is the first, even though you had the minor league signing, but this is the first major transaction of the Astros 2024-2025 off season. We've acquired the Dakin with the losing of the Minute Maid.
We acquired a new air conditioner.
Yeah, like I said, as long as that place cools off, because there's been a couple games I'm like, man, it is too hot to be an indoor stadium.
Right.
It's like,
well, you think about those Saturday 3:00 games where they have the stadium closed and you're sitting on the first base side and the sun is peppering through the glass.
Yeah.
You know, and you're sitting in a boiling pot, right? You're just sitting there just baking. It's like, feel free to turn the air down just a little bit.
Yeah. I mean,
my favorite was the one that Chris and I went to this summer where it was still 98 degrees outside, but it was raining so hard. It was raining inside the stadium on left field.
Yeah.
Oh, it was pouring down.
That was fun.
Maybe that's where that extra money is going for, to fix that roof, because that's not the first time it's been raining so hard that rain has went through the roof onto. It was actually getting on the fans in the left in the right field seats
in the Crawford boxes.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I said, I mean, there's not too much going on. It's a name change. It is what it is. I mean, like I said, the people that are the most affected by this, unfortunately, is us. So, and
Yeah,
for
and
most
that's it.
people, nobody really cares. So it's fine.
But it truly is the biggest travesty of the whole thing. Is
It
now
is. Now
we're at a crossroad.
we're at a crossroad to where we have to kind of like look at ourselves and decide what we're going to do. Um, Regardless of the name, though, you're not going to get very, very high production value. You can count on at least 2 or 3 flubs in the middle of it. So if you think a new name is going to raise our standards, I appreciate it. We'll see. We'll see what 2025 has to bring.
Yeah.
So, well, guys, I mean, you guys have anything else?
No, no. I think like I said earlier, we'll come together and we'll think of a poll to put up on our Facebook page, and just fun little interaction with everyone that's listening and following us, and just kind of see what we can come up with. I've sent Chris one potential, not even a potential name. I literally just thought about it on my own. I'll just throw it out there, but I threw out Crawford Icebox. Not bad. It seems kind of long because it's juice box is one word, but I don't know. We're just kind of playing around with some stuff. So definitely going to have that poll up on our Facebook page, and you guys take a look at it and see what you think, and write something out. Put whatever you think in, and it'll just be something fun to kick around for a minute. So, but no, I think that's good, man. It's new change. Let's move on. Let's move on from the name change and see what the hell the offseason has to bring.
Yeah, I agree. Browse, you got anything? Wrap it up.
Yep. I just want to see 2 things coming soon. Hopefully we can knock them out on Thursday. I want to know what's going to be in the back of the train officially, and I want to know what the contract is. And if we get those 2 things, I'm good, man.
Well, I think
January.
the train Crane said is going to be opening day. So again, real quick, guys, I know we may not get a chance to do this in some of our other episodes. I want to personally thank everybody that subscribes on YouTube, our 230 followers on Facebook, anybody that interacts with the posts and stuff. I appreciate it. You guys are the reason why we do this. So we're getting there. We're still baby brother to some of these other podcasts, but we're getting there, and we appreciate you guys taking the time and going on this ride with us as we hopefully get better at doing this. So guys, I'm Chris. We're here with PK. We got Bryles. We are the Juice Box Heroes. We'll be back on Thursday with a regular episode. You guys have a fantastic evening.